Welcome to the ATS sensor video. In this video, I'll go over the installation process of the sensors, the transmitter, and the gateway. I'll also explain how these items work together to help you monitor key pieces of equipment inside your plant. Once you receive your sensor, you will need to attach the antenna to the transmitter box. Your sensor or sensors are pre-attached beforehand, so no action will be required for these at this time. You will need to verify that the ID number on the transmitter is the correct ID number for the assigned piece of equipment you are attaching it to. You can attach your vibration sensor to your equipment either vertically or horizontally. You want to make sure that you have the x-axis on your sensor pointing parallel with the shaft or axial direction. The motor we used for this video has an aluminum housing and was already equipped with the metal tabs used for vibration equipment. If you do not already have these tabs, then you will need to use J.B. Weld's steel stick to mount the sensors to an aluminum or stainless surface. Depending on your setup, you may have to place a hole into the junction box for the amp clamp and the thermocouple. Your amp clamp will connect to one of the power leads inside the motor junction box, and it does not matter which power lead you use. The thermocouple can be mounted inside the junction box or at the topmost center part of the motor housing with the same J.B. Weld steel stick used to mount the vibration sensor. To access the reset button and the on-off switch, you simply loosen the 4 Phillips head screws and remove the cover on the transmitter. Inside the transmitter box, you will find the reset button and the on-off switch. If the reset button needs to be pressed, then you will need to ensure that the machine is off and the sensor is mounted in the correct position and orientation to do so, because it will also reset the vibration offset calibration. Once you have your sensors and transmitter in place, you will then need to connect the antenna and the power cable to the gateway. The gateway requires a 110 volt AC power source, and depending on your plant layout or the placement of the transmitter will determine on how far away the gateway can be placed. If you're using a MiFi, then you'll need to make sure that it's powered up and ready before powering the gateway up. When the gateway powers up, you should get a blue light, which means that it's configuring, then a green light, which means it is on and connected. If you get a blinking white light, then that means the gateway is trying to connect to its Wi-Fi source. If you get a red light, then there is a fault and you will need to email for assistance. Once your gateway has powered up and has a green light, then you'll need to open the dashboard with a browser on your computer or mobile device and log in with the username and password that was given ahead of time, then click sign in. You will then locate your device in the device list based on your S number. If the device has a gray bar, you will need to wait roughly 10 to 15 minutes for it to transmit again. If after it transmits and the bar is still gray, then try moving the gateway closer to the transmitter or the transmitter closer to the gateway. If these actions do not work, then you may need a repeater and will need to reach out for assistance. If it has a green bar, then it means the gateway is online and ready. When you select your sensor, it will bring up the page to the right. This will give you all the data that the sensor is recording. The vibration sensor will show you the 3 axes that it is recording, X, Y, and Z axis. You can use the menu at the top right hand corner of the vibration meter to select the duration and the resolution you wish to see. The data is transmitted every 10 minutes and you will need to ensure that you at least get one reading before powering the equipment back up. You can also scan over the points and see the measured vibration and the date and time which it was taken. All 3 axes should read greater than 100 mg, and if any axis is below the 100 mg, then the reset inside the transmitter will need to be pressed. Make sure that the equipment is off and stop before pressing the reset. If any of the axes are reading below the 100 mg after the reset button is pressed, then you'll need to reach out for assistance. The vibration temperature and the thermocouple should read within 10 degrees Fahrenheit of each other in this meter. If you would like to see all of the data for a specific date, then at the top you'll use the drop-down menu and select Jump to a specific date and time. Then choose the date and time from the calendar. To finalize the date and time that you have selected, you'll need to click off the date picker. The data from the sensors are monitored by your site as well as ATS to help prevent major breakdowns from happening, as well as help reduce the downtime from these breakdowns. When the installation is complete, make sure to get pictures of the install and send them to, making sure to label your pictures with the S number located on the transmitter housing.